Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis. Tonight on the show, the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, James Buster Douglas, enters a new ring tonight on Whiskey Business. And good evening, those of you joining us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live for a very special edition of Whiskey Business. In this corner, broadcasting remotely from his mother's condominium in Palm Harbor, Florida, the current reigning host of Whiskey Business, Dino Tripodis. And in the opposite guest corner this evening, the legendary, shocked the world 30 years ago, James Buster Douglas, the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But tonight, he goes into a different arena, the whiskey arena, with a brand new whiskey, Buster Douglas's 42-1. We are thrilled, ladies and gentlemen, to have James Buster Douglas on the show. He'll be joining us in just a little bit to talk about 42-1, the new bourbon whiskey he has out there, which is already causing a stir in the whiskey world, much like he did 30 years ago when he defeated Mike Tyson. We are thrilled to be back with you on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and we hope that everybody is handling themselves and doing well in the current situation that we are still in. As I mentioned, I am broadcasting from Palm Harbor, Florida. I'm visiting my mother, taking care of my mother, who's had a few setbacks, but we managed through technology to get everything together this evening. So before we get into everything, let's go to my producers, who I could not do this without, Greg Hansberry on the audio side and John Whitney on the video side as well. Thank you, gentlemen. Nice to see your faces.
Of course.
Good to see you, man. And yeah, you are the reigning champ. If you can, put up with Mother Dearest down there, all right. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Thank you. You know what Norman Bates said? A boy's best friend is his mother.
We know how that turned out too.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, so a little business, Hansberry, before we get started.
Yeah. Thanks for checking out Whiskey Business. If you're watching us live on YouTube or Facebook, thank you very much. And if you haven't already, click follow or like or subscribe wherever wherever it is to do that. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcasting app in the future, then go ahead and follow us on social media, and you'll find out when we do live shows like this, and you'll catch us live. But yeah, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and whiskeybusinesspod.com. Find us all there and binge listen some archives while you're quarantined at home with your quarantine. That's the new.
The quarantine, is that the new lingo now? Yeah. Nice, very nice. And of course, video-wise, we could not exist without the great John Whitney, who this is a switch, because the guest bottle. Put it up there, Johnny. Why don't you? Buster Douglas's 42-1 is only available right now, I think, in Ohio. I don't have access to it down here in Florida. So this is the first time in whiskey business history that I am not partaking in the guest bottle at all. So
and you're missing out, buddy.
Yeah, you guys have it. So right out of the gate, I know that it's a 84 proof bourbon. I know that it's finished in American white oak, but as far as how it tastes and what it's got going on, gentlemen, this is your moment to whiskey shine. Johnny, what do you think?
I like it. When you first taste it, it's got a little bit of a sharpness to it. So I think there's some rye in there that's a little bit higher rye content. But it's like really smooth in the middle with some sweetness and some vanilla, and it's smooth at the end. So as far as a sipping whiskey, this is really good stuff. These guys did a good job.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. I took some notes. Vanilla on the nose, but
vanilla
on the nose.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a chocolate bite in it too. Like it was a kind of a dark chocolate, kind of bittery flavor, sweet flavor though. A creamy mouthfeel. I don't even know what that means. but I wrote it down.
My favorite.
And I don't even know how to pronounce this word. Verbose. I don't even know if that's a real
You had to
word.
look that up, didn't you?
Yeah.
Verbose.
Yeah, I've already used the word boisterous, so verbose is what came to mind.
All right.
Okay. And obviously it's available. Well, we'll find out where it actually is available and where it's going to be available as we bring into the podcast. It was 30 years ago in February of this year that Buster Douglas shocked the sporting world by defeating Mike Tyson, and hence the name of Buster Douglas's 42-1, because those were the ridiculous underdog odds that were set against his battle against Mike Tyson. First of all, moving forward, do you want me to call you James, Buster, Mr. Douglas? What would you
Champ?
prefer?
I vote for Champ.
I like Champ.
Champ it is. Thank you for not saying Mr. Douglas, because the first thing that pops into my mind is Green Acres.
Yeah. Mr. Douglas. You don't want that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Green Acres, old TV show from the 60s. You younger kids look at Google. Yeah. Mr. Douglas, have I got a proposition for you? That'd be Mr. Haney off of the podcast. Thank you so much for being here, man. Let's talk about the whiskey right out of the gate, and then we'll work our way back, if you will. 42-1, such a apropos name for a whiskey, especially in this current whiskey world. I mean, I think you kind of have to appreciate the irony of stepping into the whiskey world right now, where there's new whiskeys coming out almost on a weekly basis. So in a sense, you're kind of an underdog again coming into this world of bourbon. So how did it all start? Who approached you, and how did this come to be?
Well, I was approached by the company, and a friend of mine is John Pace. Actually, the company approached my friend John Pace about doing a bourbon whiskey, and put my name on it. Said it was sort of like the tall, brown skin, handsome bottle, smooth yet but rugged.
Yeah, got a little bit of a bite to it.
Got a little bit of a bite to it.
Sneaks up on you. And then 42-1, which is the great name, because like I said, those are the odds that were set when you fought Mike Tyson. Now, let me ask you this, and be honest, do you even drink whiskey as a beverage, as a libation yourself, or did you have any say as to what went into this bottle, or did they say, tell us what you think of this?
No, I didn't. They just assured me and said it was going to be a smooth evening, a smooth tasting drink.
Mm-hmm. And do you drink whiskey per se?
Well, actually, not really.
Mm-hmm. That's honest, because after doing obviously the research and everything on this, I know that that you have an issue with diabetes throughout your life, and let's just be honest, drinking fifths of whiskey probably ain't the best thing for that either. So,
contradiction.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't feel bad calling it verbose now.
Oh man! So and congratulations, because you guys entered this. You entered into the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, and you got the silver in 2020.
Amazing,
my friend. That's impressive right out of the gate. We're talking about a brand new whiskey that wins the silver in San Francisco. That's pretty good. That's
pretty
real good.
Here, I felt bad that I didn't get the gold.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say if I wanted the gold. But put it this way: I also know that in this family from ringside that puts this whiskey out, that Ray Boom Boom Mancini has a whiskey out as well. And when he went to competition, he only got the bronze. So,
well, that's the heavyweight. That's what you get with the heavyweight and the lightweight.
Man, are you friends with Ray? You guys?
Yeah, I see Ray occasionally at autograph signings. And very cordial and nice man.
Yeah. And is his whiskey doing well? I imagine it's doing okay for himself. It seems like the whole line of products are doing well. I mean, and there's everything too. People, if you want the whole Buster Douglas whiskey experience, you can go online. You can get keychains. You saw some of those pictures. Keychains. You can get shot glasses. You can get corkscrews. You can get the actual whiskey. So there you go. You can get the whole Buster experience. Let me start going backwards a little bit, and let's talk about your history, if you will. Your father was a boxer, William Dynamite Douglas. Was that the name that he gave himself, or was that the name that somebody gave him when he was boxing, when he was fighting?
I'm sure he probably got it after he started fighting, because he's a big puncher. So I'm sure somebody named him Dynamite.
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious because boxing, he also was he ran a gym over there at a Blackburn Recreation Center. And so was boxing, was that a choice for you, or was that something that you were told you were going to do? I imagine it was a choice.
Sort of, kind of.
Sounds familiar.
Well, no, I say sort of, kind of, because you were.
I mean, it was sort of, that path was always open up there for me, because I participated in football, basketball, played a little baseball, but boxing was eventually won out, of course. But so it was definitely by the latter part of my life before I started. Right after I started, I kind of got a real good liking to it and chose it. I liked the path.
You did choose it because you had a very promising career. You were a great basketball player. I know at one point in some interviews you said you loved playing football, but you played basketball. You played on scholarship in Coffeyville, Kansas. You're in the Basketball Hall of Fame in that particular arena. So you had some skills in basketball.
Yes, I really, really enjoyed playing basketball. That became a passion, a very strong passion for me. But then it was always in the back of my mind about boxing. I always had a strong passion for that as well. It won out. So,
but Buster, we talked to your son a little bit. Is he athletic? Does he like to play sports?
Yes, plays basketball in high school, football, ran track. So he's athletic.
It's in the blood, man. It's in the blood.
Yeah, it's in the blood. Athletic. Yeah.
So, was your father just kind of sitting back and waiting for you to come around to say, okay, pops,
Exactly.
I'm just right?
After my junior year, I gave him a call that summer and told him that when I came home, I was going to start boxing, and that was the call he was waiting for.
Mm-hmm. But he never put any additional pressure on you. He kind of did. So what was your father like? I mean, was he a type of person who's, I'm gonna let my boy do whatever he wants to do and let him come to his own decisions?
Because something like boxing is you have to have a passion for it. You have to want to do it. You can't do it because of, you really have to have a desire, because it's an individual sport, and most. Really, when it comes down to it, you have to have the desire to go in there and with the training, and then you put the right people around you. But you definitely it has to come from within first.
So what happened? When did that switch go off in your head and in your heart?
I said it was my junior year in college.
Well, why? What happened? What made you click?
I just was tired of playing basketball, and just had a strong urge all of a sudden for boxing again. And I came back that summer and started working out, and it just grew from there.
And did your father train you?
Yes. I think I was with my dad for the first 15 fights in my pro career. And that's when I switched over and got with my uncle J.D. McCauley and John Johnson.
Yeah, we're gonna get up to that point, but your first fight against Dan O'Malley back in 1981, you won. Then you won your first 5 fights, and then when you lost your first fight to David Bay, you're winning. You're on track.
That was my first big shot at the big time. I was on a card in Pittsburgh on Larry Holmes' undercard. He was defending his title in Pittsburgh. And big lights, man.
I bet.
That was, it distracted me. Kind of got a little caught up in the attraction.
How big was the crowd? Pretty big, right? The arena?
It wasn't so much it was the event itself. It wasn't so much the crowd, because it was a 4-round fight and we were the fill-in fight. So I didn't fight till after the main event.
Oh, okay.
It was like a fill-in. If something went short before that main event, they throw a little 4-round fight in there to fill in the card to keep it on pace. But then nothing happened, so we had to wait till I was back there dressed, gloved up for over hour and a half, and 2 hours maybe more. And then it was, okay, let's go. And it just kind of mentally, I wasn't ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a learning process, that's for sure.
How'd you feel when you lost that first fight?
I was upset, but I was even more determined, because it just made me realize that this is it, baby. You gotta be ready for anything. So it was a learning experience as well.
Because then you go on, you get 6 more fights, all of them wins. You're supposed to fight Trevor Berbick. He backs out, and then you get Randall Tex Cobb at with what, days notice? You find out you're gonna fight Tex.
3 days.
3 days. 3 days.
I got to call Monday about. Your manager called me Monday and asked me, said, "What do you think about Tex Cobb?" I said, "Well, he could be beat." And he said, "We got him Friday. No, we got him Saturday." Like, oops.
What are you doing Saturday night? He said, "Well, I got to get my
Tex Cobb.
That was my first time in Vegas too.
First time in Vegas.
First time in Vegas. When I went out to fight Tex Cobb, we fought the Riviera outdoors.
Oh wow,
man. Okay, so when you talked about that first fight that when you lost to David Bay, you said the big fight and the lights and everything. Vegas, that had to be. Did that intimidate you at all? Fighting on a big stage like that?
I was ready. I was excited. The big lights were like bright. I was feeling good. It warmed me up.
It's interesting, we're before we get to the fight, it's interesting that what a lot of people I think forget, or maybe don't pay enough attention to, is that you were in the boxing world, you were known, as being an excellent fighter, and I don't think along the way you got as much credit as you should have gotten over the course of that early career, moving on up. You had some losses, some were decision. You had a shot at the IBF when Michael Spinks vacated it by not defending the title, and I think that fight was against was it Tony Tucker?
Tucker, yeah.
Yeah. And
that fight too. I was doing pretty good in that fight too.
Yeah, you were doing real good in that fight. That one was just. How's that feel to be doing so well? I have obviously no idea, because as much as I appreciate the sweet science that is boxing, I have no idea what is going through a fighter's head when he's doing so well, like you were in that Tucker fight, and then all of a sudden, man, just that one punch or whatever it is that takes you down. How does that? What does that do to you emotionally?
Well, there's one or two things. Either it gives you it makes you say, well, I had a good run, and I guess that's as far as I'm gonna go. Or it makes you even more determined that you knew that in the back of your mind you could have done even better. And that's how I felt. I could have done even better. And I just went right back in, got back in line, so to speak, and started fighting anybody they put in there with me, and battled my way back to contention to get an opportunity to fight for another title.
And you did. A lot of people might not realize that you had you were the undercard in, I think, 5, maybe 6 Tyson fights before you actually fought Tyson yourself.
Yeah, I was right there. Yeah. I was always right there in the picture. Yeah.
You were always right there in the picture. Did you study him?
Not really, because he wasn't much to study. He just knew he was a terror. And you just better be on top of your game when you got your opportunity to get on there with him.
Yeah.
So mentally focused and, ready to go. Ready to take some shots and give some back.
Yeah.
So you come to the point where you get your shot at Mike Tyson, February 10th, 1990 in Tokyo. When you were fighting on the 10th, it was pretty much the 11th, I believe, here in America. And this was one of those situations that obviously became one of the greatest upsets in sports history. Tyson is just destroying everything in his path. And I want to talk about, before we actually talk about the fight and some of the intricacies of that particular bout, I want your opinion on where you thought Mike Tyson was mentally and emotionally up to that point. What, if anything, was in your head that said, I can beat this guy?
Well, I knew that from the onset.
Did you?
I felt very good about the fight. I felt, like I said, I was under 6 undercards with him. And, I just believed in me. I felt good about my talents and my abilities, and I knew I was mentally and physically. And it was nothing that I knew I was ready, because I had been through all the BS coming up, and I got another opportunity to come back and get another shot. So I felt very strongly about my chances. I was like, I was experienced. This wasn't handed to me because, as you said prior, I had 6 fights leading up to that. And they were all top contenders that I had to beat. I wasn't giving no pansy fights ever.
No.
I earned that number 2 ranking, number 2, 3, and 4 ranking in the top 10 in the 3 boxing divisions. And,
no, you beat some big guys. You beat Oliver McCall. You got. They were there. You're right. There was
anybody in there. Yeah.
There was a list of people that were formidable opponents before you met up with Tyson. But so why? Why was it just based on Mike Tyson's reputation at that point that you were considered to be such an underdog? Why the disrespect?
By the time that I got my opportunity to fight him again, if he wasn't decapitating people, you had no chance against this man, because he was just destroying people, and a lot of people thought that by that time he was proven. It wasn't was he legitimate or not? He was definitely legitimate, because he beat some great guys, entitled defenses. So, of course, I was doing well, but like I said, I wasn't knocking people out with one punch. Something so impressive that where they could say, he has an opportunity. Like I always say, if you weren't, knocking people's heads off, then they weren't looking at you as no threat.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this: how dangerous is it? Because everybody had written this fight off as a tune-up fight for Tyson, who was looking ahead to Holyfield.
We were in Japan.
Yeah. How dangerous is it to not be focused on where you're at and instead look at where you think you might be going in the boxing world?
Oh, it's very dangerous, because it's a brutal sport, and there's no timeouts and no substitution. It's all about you. And it's just, you got to make sure that you're ready to accept the challenge that's going to be coming upon you. Or it's not going to work out for you. You got to be, and then also climbing that ladder, you got to be worthy, get some worthy opponents to have some experiences, negative and positive, leading up to the opportunity. So when you do get to that main event, world championship level caliber, and you totally focus, and you don't get in the ring and still have doubts. So when I got in the ring that night, I've been through it. I've been through it all. I earned that shot. Nobody gave me nothing from the onset of my career. I'm starting my professional boxing career in my father's basement. And he introduced me to the game. So by the time I got my second opportunity to fight for the title, I felt very confident and relaxed and ready to go.
How much did your real life come into play that night? Because your mother, God bless her, passed away 23 days before that fight. Your marital situation was not in the best of circumstances at that particular point. So I'm asking, as an outsider looking in, how much does personal emotion at that point affect your boxing game, and how does it affect it to the plus and also to the minus?
Well, like I said before, by that time, I had experienced everything. I was a veteran. I was a contender, and I had earned that opportunity to get that shot against Mike. I beat 6 top flight fighters, getting the opportunity. Once I lost my first opportunity to fight for the title, I had to battle back with 6 top contenders. And by the time I came to get that title shot against Mike, I was very focused and ready to go. And everything that was bothering me, or wasn't never really bothering me, or that was going on the outside of my career, it didn't matter. It was strength. I just knew that it was some kind of force trying to take the opportunity away from me, so I'd be distracted. The more something happened outside of my career, the more focus I got, because I knew, like I said, this is another opportunity, and I was experienced. I was a veteran. I had been through all I could go through, and I earned that shot. I wasn't going to let that opportunity blow by.
Did your mother like the fact that you were a boxer, or was she always worried about you?
No, she was very positive, supported me, because she knew how my dad had to go through. As long as she knew that I was taking care of my business, doing the right things and focusing, that, she was supporting me 110%.
Was that tough for her? Watching her husband as a fighter. Now she's watching her son.
It's in the blood.
Yeah, it's in the blood. But was it difficult for her? Did she ever say, "Buster, don't do this"?
No, she never said that, but she couldn't actually watch the fight. She would let me know that she was supporting me. She was behind me. But as far as going to the fights, she might have came to a couple of them, but as they got bigger, she couldn't. She would stay in the room. She probably, waited to hear the end result.
Well, what mother wants to see their baby boy getting hit? None. Nobody, right? I know. Right. Yeah. I mean, this one back here.
Yeah, that's your mom.
Yeah, that's my mom right now.
She's the one doing the hitting, Dino.
That's my mother right now. Some of the things.
My mom had a pretty good right hand. Yeah.
She had good follow through.
Good follow through. Bent the knee, turns it over.
All right. James, there have been so many questions, and we're going to have some of these are going to be repeat questions that you've answered before. But I want to know this. I want to know, and I haven't seen anything, and if it's out there, I missed it. When you're in that ring with Mike Tyson, and that before that opening goes up, and you guys are right there next to each other, and you're getting the rules and so forth and so on. What were you thinking? What was when you were staring at each other in the face, in the eye, emotionally? What was going through your mind at that particular point? I mean, that's it. You are at the apex of what could be a determining factor in your career over the next few rounds. You don't know where it's going to go, what's going to happen. But emotionally speaking, I want to know what was going through your head. I know if it was me, I would have been shitting my pants.
I was just warming up, getting ready, man, getting that body loose. I knew I had something. I had a big challenge in front of me, and I never really looked at him. I was just concentrating on getting myself ready because I knew when that bell rung, it was going to be on and popping.
Did you purposely not look at him? Did you not want to look at him?
But it wasn't about staring him down. It was just about getting ready to let the hands go when the bell rung. All that steer down stuff is good for the cameras, but what's going to make an impact is hitting them, letting them hands go.
And that's
the thing that's going to really determine and let him know that it's a fight tonight.
Yeah.
Get yourself ready. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Letting the hands go. Well, the hands were a huge factor in that. Your reach, was catching Tyson off guard. I mean, that's what amazes me about this. When I read more about this fight, they didn't even have an ice pack in the ring for Mike Tyson because they were that self-assured that this was just going to be a walk in the park. They didn't even have anything in his corner to deal with that swelling eye that he got popped in the middle of the fight. They had to I think they had to fill up a condom with ice water and put it over his head, or what they call a latex glove or something. But I've heard different variations on the theme.
That's what I was talking about earlier. It was like, shit, I mean, if you weren't decapitating people or had a punch that would put dents in people's heads, you had no chance. So they were so comfortable that, it was like, this is going to be, we'll be back in the locker room in 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Wow.
And the odds were 42-1. There was only one casino in Las Vegas that offered up odds, and it was the Mirage. And I want to personally thank you because in February of 1990, I was a struggling comedian, not making more than $300 or $400 a week. And I actually got to take $20 of my hard-earned money, and I went for the long shot back in February of 1990 and said, what the hell? I'll blow $20 on cigarettes and booze. I'm going to put it on the long shot and see if Hometown can actually pull it off.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I had no idea. You won me $840, which went a long way. That's
a lot of cigarettes.
It's $840 back in 1990 was like millions for anybody else at that point. So yeah, I remember talking to the guy I laid the bet down with in Steubenville, Ohio, and he goes, "The fuck! I can't believe you won! I can't believe you won! I can't believe you won! Congratulations! It's amazing." Everybody was shocked. And here's the thing: you win and become the heavyweight champion of the world, and immediately, and we're going to talk about it, because of what they said was the long count, it's almost taken away from you the very next day, as far as being undisputed. How did that feel?
The best moment was hearing my name announced as a new undisputed heavyweight champion.
Right.
It was a great feeling, a great accomplishment. Everything was fascinating. But as soon as I got out the ring and got up to my room, that's when it all started. The nightmare began.
The nightmare begins.
Yeah,
talk about that. Yeah, the nightmare, because now all the controversy. Don King starts in there and starts, everybody starts talking about the long count. Which, trust me, my friend, the three of us here have watched this piece of footage repeatedly. In fact, Johnny, do you have some of it available?
No, actually, there's a video out there where it has both when you knocked down Tyson and when Tyson knocked you down side by side, and your bodies hit the mat at the same time. The period of time that elapsed was exactly the same.
Yeah, and it's the human count. It's not a stopwatch.
Exactly.
Right. So I mean, it was horrible, and then it went like that for the next 4.5, 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a glorious moment for about as long as the fight lasted.
Yeah, as long as I mean, and so did that take something away from it for you? I mean,
Yes, it did, because normally you win the title, when you win a fight, you get time to relax, chill out, do some things,
Celebrate.
and get back into the gym. But it was the ongoing battle from the onset. It never stopped. Right into the next fight. It was a horrible experience.
but eventually Mike Tyson recants and pulls away from all that, and you are the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Right. Do you talk to Mike Tyson? Are you friends?
Yeah, we've met a couple of times, and it's been cordial. It's been great. Yeah, it was just that time, and it was,
How long after the fight before it became cordial and great?
About 3 years. 3 years.
Yeah.
But just maybe a couple of years ago, I was in LA with him at his
Doing
birthday.
His birthday. Yeah.
Well,
all right.
He's got bigger fish to fry at that point.
So.
Yeah. So what do you think about him coming back and fighting, with this whole Legends thing he's got going on?
I think it's great, that he's got the will to get himself in shape again and looking good, and it's Legends, so it's not fighting guys that's coming up today, but guys in our era, so that's what they want to do is fine, it's all good,
But boxing isn't like being on the seniors tour for golf. I mean, boxing is still boxing. I don't care if it's Go ahead.
You got the Legends now, so it might be something new starting.
It's still boxing. It's still physical. It's
title.
you're still getting hit.
From what I understand, is headgear, 16-ounce gloves or 18-ounce gloves. It's a sparring session. It's not like 10 or 8-ounce gloves and the real match. Even though they could get a little heated, but still, again, it's no more than like a sparring session.
Right, and it's Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. Who's going to win that? Who's going to win that fight? Even though it's an exhibition.
Oh, I was leaning a little more towards Mike, because Roy is coming up still, in weight, because he's a natural 160 and 75 pounder. So, I would lean towards Mike in a later, because I think it's only like an 8-round match. So 8-rounder.
Do you think this is all just a setup? Do you think for Mike to actually try to come back and be in contention to be the youngest person who ever won the championship and the oldest? That I guess that would be if he would have won the championship.
Turned out to be that way. If he's impressive enough in these little matches, it can always lead to more, bigger and better things. So you never know. Yeah.
Do you think he could?
Yeah, I think he can.
You think he can?
Yeah, with the heavyweight. Come on, with the
I think you need to suit up, champ. You need to go in there.
I knew you were going to come to that.
Yeah, come on. No.
What happens? I'm working with the younger kids today, and I'm happy with these kids, working with the amateurs, and I'm the king, no doubt, no question. So I like that. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, and in fact, you have your charity, your organization actually supports the workforce and development and training for kids that are at risk. So you're actually giving back in that way, in a big way.
Absolutely. Get their frustration off of them. Mm-hmm. But they can feel better about themselves and come in the gym mad and upset, but leave out relaxed and exhausted.
Do you as a father with sons, and your father who waited patiently for you to decide to be a boxer, are you doing the same with your boys? Are they just because I know one of them was fighting?
Have an interest in it, sure. You know, right now, Artie, if they have an interest in it, sure. Artie's the only one that's involved with it right now.
And you don't push it?
No. Like I said before, it's got to be something that you want to do. It's got to come from within. You can be doing it for somebody else, but you have to have a deep down desire to do it because this is a lot of will and determination. It's self-motivated.
Is it tough for a son to pursue that line of sport, being in the shadow of his father, who was the heavyweight champion of the world?
Not at all. There's no pressure.
Pressure doesn't come up.
I didn't feel the pressure when coming under my father, and he was one of the roughest and toughest middleweights, my heavyweights in the division. He was in the top 10 in both of them. So actually, it was a sort of kind of a negative because they were always comparing me to him, and they didn't say, "I don't see it in you as I see it in your father." That Billy was something else.
More motivation.
Buster, what happened with your father? What happened? What caused that? What caused that split, that rift that made you shift gears and go with a whole new team and a new trainer?
Well, you know, it wasn't like it just didn't. It was not getting the same satisfaction. I wasn't getting the same satisfaction that I was getting or gotten from working with my uncle and John Johnson and John Russell. You know, we were more organized and more focused on me, you know, seeing that things were put in place to where helped me along my path of becoming the heavyweight champion of the world.
And did your, and I'm sorry if this is a tough question, but did you realize that your father was becoming was impeding that progress at some point? And I mean, where did that relationship? How did that relationship end up? Once you became champion of the world, where was your father in all this?
By then, we were cool.
Yeah.
It was just the initial separation, the breakup.
Mm.
You know, I had to call my mother in at the table and had my dad sit down, and I told him that I was going in a different direction, and we had to work it, you know, talk it out, let him know that, you know, that I was going A, B, C, D, and you know, this is it for us. I was going
that's helped you probably become a better dad and a coach.
Exactly. It all turned out to be a positive.
Let's watch some clips. Unless you have some more questions, Dino, I want to watch this.
No, let's get to Johnny. Whatever you got up and running.
So I think Greg wanted to see this and have you comment on this. This is going to be the 8th round where Tyson knocks you down, and Greg can kind of explain why he wants you to look at this and comment on it.
Well, just I mean, you mentioned about mental toughness is something knocks you down, you got to get back up.
Now you're hitting the canvas because you're pissed,
right?
You're punching the canvas because you're pissed that you had him and he got that shot in. And
well, you know,
go ahead, Greg. You had a question?
No. I mean, I just want to hear what you're asking.
It was a mental lapse. You know, just that brief moment of wanting to pause for the cause in the middle of a fight and got caught.
Were you like thinking to yourself, I'm doing pretty good? Was that basically it?
Exactly. You want to say, so what do you think about me now?
So that punch into the canvas is just like, God damn it, I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I had him, and I'm pissed off because you were physically able to get up before you did.
Yeah, I wasn't hurt at all. I was totally focused on what was going on around me. That's why I hit the canvas like, damn.
Yeah, damn. That's exactly what it was. It was a damn.
I started to get up, but I picked up the count. Knew I had a couple more seconds to do a quick body check.
There you go. Use the full 10, baby.
Now, when you went down and hit the canvas with your glove, and you get back up and you're ready to go again, totally different set of circumstances when Tyson goes down and the fight is called. Do we have that clip, John? That particular round?
The 10th round?
Yeah, the round.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Let's play it.
I thought we were going to talk about the 8th round, which I think is one of the best rounds I've ever seen in my life.
The ninth round. The 9th round.
Yeah, I don't have that, but I thought but I mean, you guys went back and forth, man. There was a lot of hitting in that round.
The 9th round?
9th round, yeah.
They told me when I went back to the corner, like, he's going to come to jail. Like, no shit.
All right, so I got the 10th round here.
So let's go to the 10th. Let's go to the 10th.
How many times have you think you've watched this, Buster?
Couple.
Once or twice. Once or twice, right?
Yeah, once or twice.
Feet still moving, Buster.
Well, that and boom, down. Okay. Down goes Tyson. It's done.
He couldn't even get up. It could have gone to 12. It didn't matter. He wasn't able to fight.
And Buster, when a fighter's down and he's looking for his mouthpiece instead of trying to get up,
that's when I knew it was over.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I knew the time had to be running out. And if he was focused, he'd have got on up. Because that gave him more time. The referee would have went, got the mouthpiece, cleaned it off, and put it back in his mouth. So he had a little bit more time to clear his head.
Yeah.
But when he was searching for it, I knew it was over.
Where's my mouthpiece? Where's my wallet? Where's my watch? Where am I? I had a whole bunch of things on me before this started, and I can't see. I'm out. What do you mean I'm out? Okay, all right. Interesting. Yeah, wow. And that man, that's that moment. You are that. What's that?
Childhood dream come true.
Yeah. How do you top that as you go on in life? I mean, when the three of us, John Whitney, Greg Hansberry, and myself, I don't think we've achieved a moment in our lives yet where we are, quote, the champions of our world. And I don't know if we ever will. So when you reach that point in your life, that is the top of that mountain, emotionally through the past 30 years, does that affect how you go on in life? I mean, what mountain is there to climb after you've already hit the highest peak?
Well, after that was having my two youngest kids. That was pretty exciting and that was a great moment in my life as well. And then from that point on, it was just, raising them and enjoying life.
You wanted to fight the very best when you defended your title and you went after Holyfield. Were you in the same frame of mind for Holyfield as you were for Tyson?
I came from that by the time I got into Holyfield.
What's that?
I said I was the furthest thing from the Tyson fight mentally going into the Holyfield fight because of what I had to go through for the last 5 months, with the court cases flying all over the place, trying to defend the title, being the heavyweight champion, or before I even got to defend the title. Yeah. It was like you won the fight, but you're not going to enjoy it. And it was just an onslaught of ridiculousness. Whining and crying is what I call it.
Yeah.
He knocked him down. I knocked him down first before he knocked me down. He went from the baddest man to on the planet to the whining his baby on Earth.
Yeah, you're the first person to knock him down ever. That's awesome.
Knock him out.
And knock him out. Knock him down and knock him out.
Yeah.
That's too bad. It's a shame. That's just media and money getting involved.
But look at us here reminiscing about one of the greatest upsets in sports history from 30 years ago, and look at what we're talking about. We're talking about. Do you have remorse for where the sport is right now? Because boxing, where it is right now, just doesn't seem to have the grit and the for lack of a better word, the glamour. I mean, I watch it still, but I don't care. I don't get excited like I used to when back in the 90s when you were fighting and Tyson was fighting and Holyfield was fighting, and then you go down the other weight classes, you know, the middleweights and so forth. When you know, I got boxing gloves hanging in my bar from Tommy Hitman Hearns that he signed that I love. I mean, there's what happened.
Well, just to me, I look at it like it's an opportunity. It just provides opportunity for somebody to come in there and get it back like it was before.
Yeah.
You know, where it was, like you said earlier, when it was Sugar Ray Leonard, the Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran, the Larry Holmes. You know, it was just, you know, it's an opportunity for an individual to turn it all around. You know, it's still there. It's just that somebody has to go back out there and bring it back to Showtime.
It seems like UFC has filled that void a little bit. What are your thoughts, just real quick, on UFC? Yes, no?
UFC, you know, I'm not a big fan of it, but again, you know, in boxing, it will always be boxing, but it's just got to be that light that somebody has to bring that light out again and bring the interest back into it. You know, it's just not like that now. You know, like the heavyweight champion, Anthony Joshua, he's a decent fighter. Wilder, I thought, was going to be the one that probably got it all together, but he never learned. Nobody never showed him how to throw straight punches. The talent pool isn't like it used to be. That's all it is. It's just the fighters are fighting the best they can, but it's just not giving the audience or the legitimate fight fans, you know, excitement isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then these guys today, the ones that are pretty decent, like in the smaller divisions and that welterweight division, they're trying to get together and make one champion, and that's really a great division because they all have thrown in their hat, so to speak, in the pot to where they're ready to fight each other instead of milling around talking. And so they've gotten together where they're starting to fight each other to make one world champion, undisputed heavy welterweight champion. And that's the strongest weight class right now, you know, as far as the competitiveness. So, you know, that's all it is. It's got to take an individual to bring it back around. I think it'll happen. It's always, you know, we get those eras like on my era where everybody was, you know, the champion could be anybody any given night.
Right.
Just got to get that excitement back up again.
I wanna move from the sport to the cinematic part of it. Jamie Foxx supposedly is going to be playing Mike Tyson in a new Tyson movie. I would imagine in that story, much like in previous incarnations of other Tyson movies, there was a I think a 1995 movie where Dwayne Davis played you in that movie. I would have to factor in that February 10th, 1990 would factor into the Jamie Foxx movie. Who would you like to play you right now? If they go in front of the cameras tomorrow?
You're looking at him.
Great answer.
You want to play you?
Give me 3 months, I'll be ready.
That's all you need, 3 months? All right.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's fine because apparently you have no problem getting in front of the camera. We have a clip of you from a film. Johnny, what's the film? Gettysburg to Baghdad?
Yeah, we'll just kind of play it in the background when we want to talk about it. What is this? Yeah, what is the project?
The project?
Yeah, what is this?
This is Gettysburg to Baghdad.
Civil War.
Yeah, so tell us about the production and kind of how you were involved and how you got involved.
Marty Knapp was the producer and director out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And he asked me to participate in it, and I was more than happy to get involved with it.
Yeah.
You're playing a priest.
That's right.
He laughs.
Oh, I can't play a priest?
Yeah, sure. Of course you can play a priest.
Okay.
You can play anything you want, champ. We're not going to argue with it at all.
Right, yeah. Tell them different, John.
I having a problem.
Do you want to do more acting? Do you want to do more acting?
Yeah, I had a good time doing it. That's something I can get into.
Yeah. You enjoy it?
Yeah, it was great. Great time. And that was, being in front of the cameras really, throughout my career kind of helped me be more relaxed once we did the filming of the movie and stuff. So it's a good time.
If you wanted to get involved, you got any ideas of a type of film that you would like to get involved in right now?
Well, anything really.
Do you have a dream project that you'd like to put on film?
Well, mine is we're trying to work on doing my life story now, and got it written and just trying to put it together.
Okay,
Well,
you play you at some point in that, but who would play you? Who would play you right now?
He's got to get his son. He's got to get a son. Like Ice Cube's son played him in the movie.
Right, maybe Artie would do it.
There you go.
Right.
Has Artie got? I don't know. Artie's already got any acting chops? Can he do it?
He's not afraid. He'll stand up to the camera. He will accept that challenge.
Good.
Nice. And the challenge now, as we start to wrap things up, is for people to put that bottle back up there, John Whitney. Buster Douglas is 42-1. The whole reason that we got together this evening to talk about a lot of things, but this is what's currently going on. Like I said from the outgo of this podcast, you are entering a very competitive world in the world of whiskeys and bourbon, and the fact that you get out the gate with a silver at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition is a pretty good start. So, is this going to expand throughout the country, or is it just going to be limited to Ohio?
Well, hopefully we want to expand throughout the country, but right now it's limited to Ohio. We're going to move from there once it starts moving out after production, because it's on the shelves now. So we'll see how that works and move forward.
Yeah, and is it selling?
I say go for it.
It's selling well. You guys found it at Giant Eagle, at Giant Eagle establishments.
We did, yeah. I got mine at Giant Eagle at where was it? Yep.
And what John is like $40, something like that?
It's like $39. So it's under 50, which is our target price right on the bourbons that we like.
What's happening? We're breaking up a little bit here at the end.
We'll power through.
Can you hear us now, Dino?
Everybody's still with us? What's going on?
Yeah, everybody's with us.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Dino's mom pulled the plug.
Yeah. My mom doesn't have it. She just rents it for hours a day. So
you have to dial up, pay by the hour.
But I got one more thing. Though before we leave, because
close, everybody get their fair share.
Because a lot of guys when they win the championship and they become a household name, they get to ask to do a lot of things that normally you wouldn't have a chance to do.
Oh, this is great.
And you got a chance to get in the ring with another Columbus boy, right?
Right, Macho Man.
Macho Man Randy Savage. And I just happened to have a clip.
Let's see
it. That's what he told me when we were in the ring. He said, I'm from Columbus, Ohio. Also, I was like, no shit, really? I had no idea.
Oh, really?
As you guys are fighting, he tells you this?
He was pointing his finger at me, talking crazy. My biggest thing was, I hope he don't go nuts, though. He's got to remember who I am and what we're in here for.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it was a great time. That was awesome. That's a big guy right there.
Oh, man. The guy's like 6'6" and about 320 or something like that. The guy's huge.
He's a huge guy.
It's funny that you had that conversation, like, we're all here just for fun and doing it, because that's the same conversation I think that Stallone had in Rocky 3 when he's doing the wrestling thing with Hulk Hogan. We're here just for fun.
Right.
So it's kind of funny how that reality and cinema actually mirrored each other, and that was the actual case. We're here just for fun, but damn,
that's got to be fun. It's got to be fun.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Well, James Buster Douglas, I want to thank you sincerely for spending some time with us today. Much success with 42-1. I hope it starts flying off the shelves. I can't wait to actually try it myself when I get home.
Thank you so much.
But if down the line, if there's something that we can do, I'm already envisioning. I saw pictures of you and Boom Boom together at signings. Maybe we can hook up with Ringside and do a whiskey business ringside tasting of all the whiskeys and get everybody together and do a live podcast that way. That would be cool, wouldn't it, fellas?
Great.
To do a whole flight
of here. And extra large gloves, but we can do it.
Yeah, that would be great. But I want to thank you for your time and your generosity, and also thank you for everything that you continue to do for the community in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, I think that is probably, aside from all of your other accomplishments in the sporting world and being one of the greatest stories in sports history, I think the story that you continue to write today in present day life is probably even more important and more valuable in the long run, because you're changing and affecting lives. And I think that, my friend, is a true champion right there, for sure.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it. You guys are great. Much success.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This will help our success. You are giving to Whiskey Business, and we hope that Whiskey Business gave a little something to you this evening. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon. James Buster Douglas, everybody. The champ.
All right.
Champ. Yes. Thank you, sir. We bid you all a farewell. Hansberry, if you
let me wrap up
before we wrap up. Yes, absolutely. And
are you going to stick around, Buster? Or do you want to? I'm going to go ahead and take you out of the loop. If you.
Out of here.
All right.
Get out of here.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
James Buster Douglas, man, what a great.
There we go.
That was
awesome.
That, for me personally, was a moment, boys. That was thrilling. Hansberry, a couple of plugs before we go.
This is the behind the curtain. We're going to edit this all out for the podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out Whiskey Business. You can find us in all of our archive episodes on your favorite podcasting episode. Subscribe to us there, and all the new episodes will pop right up into your feed. Rate and review us so other whiskey loving crazy knuckleheads like us can hang out with each other. We're on Facebook, YouTube. If you're watching us now, thank you very much. You can follow us and subscribe to us if you're not. If you are listening to this on our podcast, we do live Facebook and YouTube streams almost all the time now because of this crazy coronavirus stuff. So follow us there, and you can watch this live when we're doing it here. Instagram, Twitter, whiskeybusinesspod.com. That's all I got.
All right, John Whitney, anything on your end?
Thanks, Johnny. Nice job, John, with the video clips.
I mean, this will be up on YouTube and on Facebook. For the remainder of the week and so on. So if you want to watch it, or if you missed part of it, you can run it back and watch it again, or listen to it on everywhere you get your podcast. So
I want to thank everybody
for me
who joined us on Facebook Live. I see a lot of comments, which obviously I saw coming back.
People love Buster, man.
Yeah, they do love Buster.
Comments.
Vince Morris, nice squack that we got Buster on. What a classy guy. He definitely was a classy guy. Absolutely, without a doubt. To Marcial Lopez, I want to sign the whiskey label. Well, you know what? I know that there was actually used to be a signing.
There were,
yeah. It got canceled because of COVID. So I'm sure they're going to rearrange that and reschedule that before it's all said and done. Great guest. You guys are drinking the whiskey. You like it. You say it's a good sipping whiskey.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's really good.
Before it's all said and done, I will have to muster through with the old Forester that I got here.
John, show them the bottle. You got like batch number 1. It's kind of cool because they're all. I mean, it's going to be a small batch. No, wrong way. So I mean, if you're a fan, like you, Lopez, look, batch 1, bottle. What 2,233? Like go, you can go and just sift through and find a cool bottle number, and it's a cool local Columbus thing. If not, hopefully, I know other people in the country listen to this show.
Finished and bottled in Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland Whiskey Company.
Yeah,
so it might be a blend. I don't know. So
look at that, Martin Kennedy, SOB saying hello. Fair play, lads.
Good to hear ye fellas nattering. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's funny.
Hey,
It's,
boxing, man. That's from Ireland, Scotland, right?
yeah, it is.
Oh, they box like this.
Yeah.
That's how Martin Kennedy boxes.
Oh man, where's he at? Is he back in town, Martin Kennedy?
Martin Kennedy.
No, we know Martin. I know Martin.
No,
Kennedy.
I know. But last I heard, he's laughing at us. Last time I heard, he moved back to Ireland. He was
he was our Tullamore ambassador.
He's laughing at us. We need to let's get it back on. Now that we're doing all this social distancing remotes, we can do a world traveled whiskey business.
We'll get Martin on. We'll get Barry. We'll get Irish whiskey Barry on as well. Chandler. We'll do a whole Irish theme thing. Okay. All right. Well, now we're just babbling for the sake of babbling.
Are you doing a closed or what are you doing, Dino?
Oh yeah, I will do an official close. Here it is. So you can edit this all together. Many thanks to Buster Douglas, James Buster Douglas, for joining us. The whiskey, the guest bottle, Buster Douglas's 42-1, available in Ohio. Check out your favorite Giant Eagle and see if it's available there. Reasonably priced at around $40 a bottle. Give it a try, and let's make his whiskey not so much an underdog in the whiskey world. Let him rise to the top. Whiskey Business is a Never the Luck production, produced on the audio side by the verbose Greg Hansberry, and of course the always amazing John Whitney, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he is. Yes, Yes, he is. No, he isn't. He is amazing. Yes, he is. He is. He's an idiot, but he's our idiot. And of course, me, you're in Florida, taking care of mom host. That's a whole podcast by itself. I'm Dino Tripodis. Until the next bottle. See ya.